Hello everyone, this is Dog Soup. My username was formerly Echo Eyes until my channel was unfortunately hacked. Right now I'm just here to kind of explain why I'm re-uploading this video to my channel. I feel like it's one of the most important videos I ever made. I apologize for the low quality, I wasn't able to download it in its entirety. And by that I mean like the full quality and stuff. So as long as the audio is held in a good standard, I think it's fine to re-upload it even if it's 360p. The visuals don't matter as much as what I have to say in my eyes. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole reason why I'm re-uploading this video, and I hope you guys enjoy it if you haven't seen it already. Please, if you have time, make sure you report the old channel for being hacked, and I'll hopefully see you in the new video that's coming soon. Hello! I'd like to preface this video with a couple of important things before I get started. First, this video is going to have some serious topics in it later on. I will put a list on screen which will act as a disclaimer because I feel it's important to let my audience know that this isn't my usual subject matter and because it does get pretty dark. Second, if you're watching this right now and if you actually plan to watch it all the way through, thank you very much for hearing me out. Especially if you're one of the ones who have been here since the beginning of my online career. Though if you are new here, I'm not that surprised. You might have seen some of my YouTube shorts I've been posting. I really hope I can provide a unique and interesting enough dialogue to keep you engaged in this video, especially for the newer viewers. I feel it's going to be a challenge because we all know how bad our attention spans have gotten. Besides that though, today I present themes of duality in this commentary style video because in my humble opinion, there is a good side of Roblox and a bad side of Roblox. It's changed my life in a whole bunch of ways, providing many opportunities for me to pursue a career online, but at the same time, ever since I've stepped down as the sole owner of my game for the sake of my health, it's made me think a whole lot about everything I've ever done. I mean, I've been trying to create games for almost 6 years, I'm pretty sure, and I've played Roblox for even longer than that. That being said, I hope that makes my opinion about Roblox actually matter a bit, because I could just complain about the same things every other person does, like how the moderation isn't that good, something about how Roblox is making X, Y, and Z decision nobody asked for, or some petty drama that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things with a super clickbait title. But that isn't my style, really, so I hope you're ready for an in-depth retrospect of everything leading up to this moment, and I hope you enjoy. So I'm going to start with where everything began, going like all the way back. I saw a random friend playing Roblox on his computer, and I just thought it looked really cool, so I began to ask my dad, who had a computer at the time, to download Roblox, and eventually that is something I did. I played on a guest account for a very long time until eventually I actually made my own account. I played a lot of, kid slop games like Fall Down Stairs and Build to Survive Zombies, even though I really like Build to Survive Zombies even still. This was also around the time that I started to get interested in creating games. I started to just mess around with free models in Roblox Studio. I remember I had an infatuation with Weeping Angels and their AI, because I thought it was really cool that when you looked away and then looked back at them, they would all of a sudden be in a different position. Like, it was just really cool to me. Fast forward a little bit, I began to gain an interest in this group of developers. I think it was like a guy and his brother, and they were named Carabros. They were really cool. They created this game called Shinobi Life, and since I was so in Naruto back then, that was my game that I played a crap ton and spent a lot of Robux on. I would literally, for every birthday or Christmas, I would be asking for Robux gift cards just to be able to buy game passes on those games. Eventually I lost track of them, and then I started to get interested again in making games, and this is what led me to Voidacity script builder, where people would code these really impressive things using third-party stuff like Pastebin. They would then put their code onto these websites. Then you could take the link from that website and put it into your game, and this essentially allowed you to showcase your scripts to other people. And I became infatuated with these kinds of scripts because, you know, they were testaments to how talented the people who made them are. You would even see a lot of YouTubers uploading script showcase videos, and while not all of these scripts work anymore, it was really cool to just go back and look at these videos and see them working in their prime. This is when I encountered a particular fairy tale script that just really reminded me of One for All. It was like, it went like lightning dragon, demolition fist, and there was this like really cool shockwave and sound effects and stuff like that. People edited this script all the time, and there was a bunch of different variations of it, but my favorite ones were the ones where it like edited you and turned you into like Deku. Something about that was really cool to me, actually editing those scripts, so I would start to collect them and pick them apart and stuff like that, just to learn how to edit them and stuff. And while I was trying to grasp everything there was to know about coding, I couldn't really. Like, there's just some like block or something like that where I just couldn't fully understand or learn everything that there was to understand about it. And in search of more stuff that was like these edits, I met Price of Phrase through Voidacity Script Builder. He was showcasing this really cool version of One for All, where he edited all of the effects and made them really accurate to the anime. Like, if you didn't have full cowling on first, you would end up like breaking your arms and legs while using moves. And from there we started to talk, and I wish honestly that I was a better friend to him, because I felt like I really took advantage of his skills just so then I could make a game at the time. But you know, eventually over time we talked more, became better friends, and we experimented together, and there was a lot of different games that we experimented with. One of the first ones was the original Boku no Roblox without the remastered part. As of the release of this video, I have asked a developer friend of mine to polish it to make it work in, it works now. It didn't work before, but he managed to make it work, and I'm going to release it for everyone to play. So, if you want to check out the original Boku no Roblox, it's really old. You know, don't expect a whole bunch. You die and you come back with a new quirk. It's very rudimentary, but it's where everything began. So, links are in the description. There was some people who started to become interested in what we were doing, and some of these people would end up becoming staff members down the line. But for now, they were just friends who were very interested in the same kind of stuff that I was. The reason why I say that is because this is whenever I also started to get into this game called Roblox No Hero. And this game was kind of neglected and forgotten about by its developers. It had a certain charm about it, and for one reason or another, me and a lot of my friends were absolutely obsessed with it. And that's when I met another really cool person through that game named ZXKazX. He was the previous head developer of Boku no Roblox Remastered, and was also experimenting with learning how to code games at the time. Now, do not tell anybody, but he managed to reverse engineer the code of the Roblox No Hero game, and he used it to give me, him, and one other friend advantages. We were a pretty tight-knit group of friends, so this information would remain classified until now, of course. So, yeah, Boku no Roblox was made in part by an exploiter. If that's not a surprise, I don't know what is, really. I'll make it clear, I still don't really condone stuff like exploiting. It's against the terms of service, so, you know, don't do it. But I will say back then I was into it a lot. Like, there are these particular YouTubers, like Typical Modders and Citizen, that I really liked, who just would troll people for fun using exploits. And honestly, I don't really see any harm in that, but if you're going around in games just like ruining the fun for people by cheating and stuff, I really don't like you. Yeah, there's a reason, by the way, why I'm giving my opinion on this. I think what really matters is what you do with the ability to exploit more than anything, because I've had some bad experiences with exploiters in the past, and I feel like there's all different kinds of exploiters. Because you have people like ZXCuzX who are able to turn a new leaf and actually, you know, use their power for good, essentially. Anyhow, I swear this is relevant. You just gotta wait until the later portion of this video. Back to our timeline of events here. Fast forwarding sometime, after Boku no Roblox Remastered has come out, during the 2019 Halloween event where people would submit their own designs for bosses. Z was actually a little bit inexperienced with how coding the AI for the events worked, and we ended up getting some help from 10Ian10, who is now the current owner of the game. Now, a lot of you don't know this, but he didn't really like the work conditions at the time, and keep in mind, this was whenever Boku no Roblox had a lot of players, a lot of pressure for him to do well. He had to work on time constraints, and it was very difficult for him to handle. He did eventually get the job done, but he did not like the work conditions at the time, and this is what led to us having kind of a falling out for a little bit. You can see where that has gone now. Seeing that he's the owner of the game, he came back. I actually would really appreciate if you guys sent a lot of love to Ian. He is a really good friend. He's helped me through a lot of really hard times and has talked some sense into me whenever I was going through this really long, having just all these mental problems and stuff. I know my timeline hasn't been exactly consistent, and I've just been jumping around to different times and stuff, but I tried my best to go in somewhat of a chronological order. I understand it's a big leap from 2019 to present day 2024, but you guys are pretty much caught up now. Okay, time for me to be real for a second. I'm just kind of done living in denial, you know. I've said plenty of times, like, the game isn't dead, you know, people still play it and stuff like that, but let's just for a second just take the rose-tinted glasses off. The game has definitely seen more players and better days, but I don't really care about the numbers anymore. I earned this really cool reward with my game's name on it, and I made a lot of people's childhoods just a little better. I try to focus more on the positive side of these things. Not to mention, 341 million visits is an absolutely inconceivable amount of people, and I'm very proud of that. For those that think Boku no Roblox is dead or used to be better, I've accepted that I can't please everybody. The game still gets updated, and if for some reason you didn't know, we are looking into making a sequel for the game. If that doesn't satisfy, I don't really know what will. I realize that it's definitely taking a long time, but these things typically tend to be like that. There's so much we want to do for the sequel, but we don't just want to make it a better version of Boku no Roblox. We want to create something that it's its own thing. Now that we're all caught up and done with this positive, sappy stuff, it's time for the Roblox expose. But in all seriousness, between my mental health, the years-long burnout I've experienced, the medical debt I've accrued from said mental health problems, just the state of this platform drives me goddamn crazy. You got these new slop games that border on even being allowed on the platform, promoting gambling to children on a regular basis. Apparently everyone diddles fucking children! I mean, if you saw my status update video, you'll see that I've kind of been thinking about this for a long time, because I've said something like this in the past too. It is just infuriating. moving on before I get too frustrated talking about that kind of stuff because it just makes me very, very mad. There has been an obvious push from big companies to start promoting their stuff on Roblox, and this has also led to a lot of slop games too, and, you know, people abusing copyright. Mainly looking at you, game fam! And this stuff obviously limits your creative freedom quite a bit. You're not allowed to be inspired by anything anymore, because if it just comes just a little too close, there's always that big old risk that you'll just get sued. Now, I don't know anything about copyright law, but I still think it's extremely stupid. It's never been consistently upheld. Like, companies just pick and choose what they get to copyright. Just makes me think of the whole Shinobi Life situation all over again. Sorry, Shindo Life. I hope it's not that controversial for me to say that I just really do not like copyright. It's a word that would probably get me canceled. But let's start getting down to some of the other problems with this platform that I've had some experiences with. In particular, I'm going to start talking about exploiting. Now, this is not nearly as much of a problem as it was before, to be fair, but back in the day, exploiting was a really bad problem, and it led me to be exposed to some things that I shouldn't have been exposed to as a kid. For example, there was this time that I was like 8 years old, and I was playing a Simon Says game, and some hacker came in, deleted the whole map, and put a giant dick in my face. This, traumatized me, to say the least, you know? It's funny looking back on it now, but, it was definitely a huge problem, and I know I am not the only one that experienced things like that. This problem was so bad that there was almost no games that didn't have at least one cheater in it for a good little while there. And I'm just gonna be honest, Roblox could have handled this so much better. I'm gonna be completely real with you. Not saying I don't think that I could have done any better or anything like that, but it took Roblox a long time to fix this issue. Way too long. I mean, it's really sad, especially whenever you have a sister who gets her account compromised, has all her limited items stolen from her, and then whenever I go to make the restore, they aren't able to restore it. Because you're only allowed one restore per account. And even though we changed passwords, put pins on the settings, we did all sorts of stuff, they still somehow managed to get these items again. Excuse my language, but that is major bullshit. And this isn't even half the crap I've had to deal with from exploiters and hackers alike. One time, somebody managed to exploit their stats, and then they came to my moderators, developers, staff members, you know, all those people, messaging them, saying that they were going to ruin the entire game if we didn't give them a bunch of Robux. In hindsight, I wish I handled the situation a little bit better. Maybe, you know, talked him into becoming a anti-exploit kind of person who would help us prevent these kinds of things from happening down the road, but we paid him a certain sum of Robux. It wasn't really a whole lot, to be honest, and he gave us the script, which allowed us to create an anti-exploit for it, and yeah. It's just the fact that people can just come along and just ruin everything for you. That's what really frustrates me the most. That's just something that these people are just able to do. Now that I've gotten my stories out of the way, and since we're on the topic of exploiting, we're gonna talk about child exploitation. Hooray! Now I'm gonna be very clear here. Roblox is trying to do stuff about it. There is stuff in place, there are rules in place that are meant to prevent these kinds of things from happening. But predators wouldn't be called predators if they didn't know how to skirt the rules. I have had the displeasure of knowing some very deplorable people who happen to be talking to multiple minors at a time. And unfortunately, I have become a victim of grooming myself. This was an extremely traumatic event for me, as you can probably imagine. I've learned coping skills and I've had to get therapy and a bunch of other stuff in order to deal with this kind of trauma. And I am saying this with honest intent. Like, I really just want people to be safe. I want children to be safe on this platform. Please monitor what your children are doing on Roblox. If your child is over 13 years old, they are able to see third-party websites like Discord and Twitter and stuff like that, which are cesspools for these predators to take advantage of your children. You may not fully agree with me, but I personally think you should not be allowing your children on these kinds of social media, especially through Roblox. Because unlike Roblox, Discord and these other platforms are completely uncensored. Because at least with Roblox's case, there's some filters in place to try and prevent predators from, getting your personal information and stuff like that and preying on you. So just please be safe when you're on Roblox. If you start creating games and you are underage, keep in mind that you will need your parents in order to sign up for the developer exchange program. Because I have also had the displeasure of being financially taken advantage of by my parents too. But yeah, Roblox has changed my life in a bunch of different ways, and by different I mean different, and I hope you guys can see what I was going for with this video with the whole duality thing. Good side, bad side, whatever. Thank you to my subscribers who are still sticking around, the people who support my game. All of you are absolutely amazing people. I don't know where I would be without the positive comments. I already have, not the best self-esteem, so these kinds of things, just seeing the amount of people and really looking back on it all who supported me and have been supporting me this whole time, it's inconceivable, and it makes me very, very happy that there are people who actually care about what I have to say and stuff like that. So, thank you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. Sorry, I don't know how to end my videos very well. It's gonna be kind of abrupt, but love you guys. Thank you. Bye. Bye.